Hey guys, and welcome back to another What If here. Today we're doing part 2, what if Naruto was transgender? And considering the last part got 58 likes, I would say you guys very much want a part 2 to this and want this to continue, so here I am doing it. Anyways, if you want to know what happened in the last part, there'll be a link in the description down below to a playlist or at the end of the screen and cards where you can click and it will take you to a playlist where you can watch part 1 and this part and then the other and any future part. If you're watching this in future, and there may be more than, well, just 2 parts, so who knows. Anyway, let's get into this part. I'm somewhat going to continue roughly off where we left off in the last part. Hey, Nar-chan? Yes, Naruto, what is it? Can I tell you something? Sure, but what is it? Well, firstly though, can you promise me that you won't tell Gigi? Well, please promise me. I don't really want him known. Sure, but fine. What is it about? Well, I somewhat kind of always felt alone. I've never exactly felt like I've had someone there for me. Sure, I've got Tucci and Daime. They're the people that run Ichiraku Ramen. Aime is Tucci's daughter. And sure, they're nice, and anytime I can't, and I can always go there, and they'll always feed me, even if I've got no menu or like. They're always someone just happy to see me. And I know I've got the old man as well, but I somewhat still never really felt like I've had really anyone there for me that I could just tell stuff to, that I could say, like, tell stuff to be able to know that they'll somewhat always be there for me, with me. Tucci's old, and so is Gigi, and well, they both could go any day, or more so, Gigi could end up going any day, and yeah, Naruto would continue to go on emotionally and would start crying. And, yeah. And who pretty much was about to knock on the door had heard, please don't tell Hiruzen or Gigi him, and he'd somewhat listened in. And not Tsunade, damn it, what's her name? She's somewhat about to say okay, some of those, though he'd quickly kissed her and pretty much whispered to her, listen. And so they did, and by the end of it, she was pretty much, she was in tears. She had tears in her eyes, and Hiruzen was somewhat, angry, because from what he'd heard from Naruto, it was like he didn't really feel like he had anyone. Sure, he'd tried his best to be there for Naruto, but he knew that the boy probably, not only boy now, that Naruto probably may not feel like he could really be there, and that he could really say, obviously, tell his emotional things, as because Hiruzen was the Okage, he obviously leads the entire village, and yeah, so right, yeah, and that's such, and because he's somewhat always busy, Naruto hasn't really gone to him about emotional things and that, and so having Tsunade there, his last living to Hiruzen's own knowledge, her last living cousin alive. Yeah, it's not just she's going to just dump all that off and tell Tsunade. And yeah, Tsunade would somewhat just hear this, and by the end of it, Tsunade would have tears in her own eyes and would should be somewhat a mix of sad and angry. Angry that her own team, yeah, Kakashi could have even Naruto somehow she'd obviously felt that her and Sakura had been somewhat being being ignored for Sasuke, as obviously Kakashi somewhat slightly was sure he was paying attention to both Sakura and Naruto, but he didn't really feel like Sakura was a fangirl, and while he wasn't doing really a good enough job at beating the fangirl out of her, and plus obviously Naruto, though, he felt that was too much of wrong about Naruto, his pretty much fighting stances, and I didn't really know obviously what to do. Sure, he could have very much asked Hiruzen or even say the army or that to help him out with his team. He could, and obviously Jonin Sensei is not obviously can very much do that, especially Kakashi, due to the fact he's an ex-Anbu member, but Kakashi's own somewhat stubbornness, less kind of stubbornness and more pride, had kind of influenced him to not really do that, and somewhat do the smarter thing and enlist help. Instead of that, he'd somewhat had gone down the path of just screw it, I'll do it myself, and because while Sasuke was somewhat the better of the two, he'd focused more energy on Sasuke than on either of them. Naruto, of course, was very much, even unknown to Kakashi, was very much observant. Of course it would be, or should be now, as if you were, of course, being, kicked and that, and occasionally when you was 4, 5, 6 years old, had to run from mobs of villagers on your birthday, you are going to become very observant to people, learn how to read them and know, do I need to get ready now, or am I safe to continue on walking and know that person's not going to try and rally a mob up to come and try and kill me. And yeah, and Hiruzen had guessed Naruto would have this skill, considering she survived this long, and yeah. Anyway, and obviously she'd also gotten a lot better, and obviously her stealth skills are kind of insane. She can hide from Anbu. She can, she's better than Anbu. She can hide from the Anbu, though sure if there are Sentry Nin, they could find her because of her very much large chakra reserves, but now hopefully having someone there for her, Tsunade, and hopefully that she would end up even being able to suppress her own chakra, her own chakra signature, and thus pretty much become even vanished to those who can sense chakra, and if so, she truly will be a very stealthy ninja. Yeah. And Tsunade had somewhat, well, was somewhat deciding, even when, well, somewhat was kind of weighing the pros and cons of somewhat, should she stay, should she leave, and she was thinking, maybe I should stay a couple of days until, like, she's a lot better, can sort of walk back and go to the toilet and that, and then leave her care and the and the stuff that she'd have to take to obviously Hiruzen and the staff at the hospital. But hearing this, she'd somewhat decided to change all of that, and she went, nope, I'm staying. She decided right then and there, cuddling a very much fragile and pretty much nearly shattered, broken child in her arms. She decided she'll stay and hopefully be this child's pretty much person that she could rely on. And yeah. And so a week would go past since that day, and Tsunade pretty much stayed in her hospital room that entire week. So she could have left the very next day, but Tsunade told her that there are some things that even the fox couldn't heal, though she was pretty sure the fox had pretty much could very much heal her entire thing. Well, I think she'd operated on and probably have, but it was still somewhat to be safe than sorry, and to be honest, that was still somewhat quick, because really for ninja that had gone through that procedure, they would be in the hospital for a good month, maybe month and a half, to make sure they were nothing would reopen and that, and then they would go off, and yeah. And so, because I was late, I'd be leaving, and that would someone would ask what were they gonna do now? Was she going to leave? She'd go, hey, Tsunade, Nar-chan, yes, but what you can do now? Are you going to leave now that I'm going to be discharged today, or are you going to somewhat stay? Well, brat, I'm going to be staying, and how would you feel like, say, living with me in my clan compound? It would be a bit lonely, somewhat living there, just having Shisune and me. It'd be a bit lonely, so, how about it? Would you like to? You'd like me to live with you? Well, yeah, of course, after all, we're cousins after all, and to my knowledge, you're my last cousin alive. I'm only be one quarter Uzumaki, and I know you're half Uzumaki, so we're very much related, and yeah. Naruto would then cuddle her, and she'd somewhat rub her hand, and she'd go, well, though, how about a somewhat name change? Change my name? Well, yeah. You're a girl now, and whilst Naruto doesn't necessarily, it's necessarily a male name, Right, how about say if you don't want to, you don't have to. I could think about it and would think and go, I was somewhat thinking about Lily. Oh, why is that? Well, no, it should go. Yeah. Well, I somewhat had the name kind of Lily floating around my head. So I would somewhat look at it, somewhat smile. Ah, the flower that means. I know it means rebirth and two other things. And it should go. So you mean like the lily flower? Yeah. Huh. So you'd be. Huh. Do you know the meaning of that name? Of the name? No, I just like it. Huh. Well, then you're in luck because the name Lily or the lily flower means rebirth. Well, purity, innocence, and rebirth. You're a very kind of cute and pure child, and well, you may probably are less on the innocence as you're, well, hearing that you're somewhat used to be of a prankster, I can very much say you're probably not that innocence. But rebirth though definitely fits you as, well, you are reborn anew from a male to a female. So, yeah, Lily would suit you quite well. Lily Uzumaki has a nice ring to it. It's, well, say to her and Naruto, now Lily, or Naruto, now they renamed Lily, smile and go, yeah, I guess. Should somehow have a kind of a warm smile, not a fake massive smile, but it is somewhat nice warmth smile that will show that she was truly happy. And yeah, they would walk out tonight, they would sign, well, Lily out, and then would head to the Hokage office, to Hiruzen's office. Firstly, to find where on earth Tsunade's been, because she hasn't seen Tsunade in a week. And then after speaking to Hiruzen, getting the getting all the necessary documents to change one Naruto Uzumaki to one male Naruto Uzumaki to one female Lily Uzumaki. And yeah, after they'd arrive at the Hokage Tower a minute or two later, they'd enter into and go, how are you two? And so I'd go, well, I'm quite fine. Though I'd like the papers for, I'd like the papers to change one's gender and also one's name. Oh? You're going to change the name? Haha, very funny. Very funny, Sensei. No, change this one's name here. Oh? You're going to change the name? Naruto-chan? Hi, Gigi. I'm going to change it to, somewhat look up to Tsunade, just nod. To Lily. It has it has a nice meaning, and I'm guessing the one that suits you the most is the one that means rebirth. So I go, I said the same thing. and go, well then, here, I was somewhat already had them prepared, though I wasn't 100% sure if, well, you had somewhat already had decided on a different name, but I had them prepared just in case. After all, you can be quite unpredictable. So, yeah, you're, after all, currently, I would say, currently Kanha's probably number one unpredictable ninja. And somewhat would just nod and go, and you don't somewhat have to worry about meeting up with Team 7 again. Well, she somewhat look a bit puzzled, and he's gonna go, well, asked, say, well, your team, how they've somewhat been trained, and had actually had to look at myself and say that progress, and had somewhat deemed that, well, Hatsuki hadn't been such a great sensei to you, so I told him that he had to get Sasuke and Sakura, well, or more so say Sakura, but both of them to a certain, say, thing by the end of the month, or within a month's time from, well, now, and, well, from actually then, and that if he doesn't reach it by, even if he doesn't reach that, or even go, well, yeah, if he reaches it, then he'll keep those two. If he doesn't, then he'll only kind of have Sasuke to train, and Sakura would get new, well, possibly get, well, would be thrown into reserves until next year's like round, next year's ninja. But what about me? What would happen? What's going to happen to me? Who's going to somewhat see the slight panic? Well, the panic somewhat started setting and go, don't worry, Naruto, Lilly-chan. If Tsunade here would actually like to, you can somewhat say become, well, maybe say she can somewhat become your, say, sensei, and she'd go, what, but not only a sensei or what, so like, not exactly your apprentice as you already have one, but yeah, as I said, more of a sensei, a teacher. And yeah, so I wrote somewhat good. I don't mind teaching the brat, but only this one. Here's gonna go. Here's gonna somewhat just nod and, well, yeah, and should somewhat sign the forms and the name change and gender change forms. And I'll go, though, do you know where my apprentice has been recently, as I haven't seen her in a week? She's been at a hotel. I haven't exactly been sure, well, me and her haven't exactly been sure if you would be staying or that, though I presume, yes, I'll be staying here, and, well, yeah, and also, Lilly-chan's gonna be moving in with me in my clan compound. Oh? What, in the Senju, not just Senju Uzumaki compound? Oh? Well, I'm somewhat 1/4 Uzumaki, and I'm the last Senju alive, and Nar-chan here is an Uzumaki, so it's somewhat just better to name it the Senju Uzumaki compound. And, well, yeah, Uzuma just nodding some understanding, and then go, well, your apprentice has been staying here at this place. Do you want me to send an army for it? It's like, hi, yes, Sensei, can you do that? And I'll have her come to the Senju, the now, well, renamed Senju Uzumaki compound. That so much is known go well. Couldn't Nar-chan, we're somewhat gonna have to do a fair amount of cleaning up. And, well, not Lilly-chan. Lilly would somewhat just nod, and Tsunade would somewhat hold her hand out. Lilly would grab onto it, and Tsunade would send them off to the Senju Uzumaki compound. Once they'd arrive, Tsunade would go, Lilly would go, whoa, it's big. Tsunade somewhat jank and go, yeah, I guess I've been here in quite some while. And go, and so go, well, this is going to take, well, just the two of us a while. And they'd go, huh? Can't you do clone, do the shadow clone jutsu? Oh, yeah, though I may only be able to make maybe like, I think I can maybe make like 100, maybe like 50 to 100. Or at least I could do, though I haven't exactly done a lot, and I think my chakra is somewhat fallen a bit, so I probably can only make maybe 25, 30 clones. Why? How many can you make? So somewhat just get a grin and go, well, the Shagon Jutsu is as a just giant cloud of smoke would appear and then disappear, and they're standing ready behind. When Lilly's Maki would be 1,000 lilies ready. And Hide's mouth would just hit the floor and go, you can make this many. It's like, well, I think I could make more, but this is the amount I somewhat generally make. Well, with this many clones, I'd say that we could probably get it done within the hour, maybe even less. No, someone go, well, you all know what you have to do, so let's go. Hi, they'd all say, and head off. Or at least they'd about to, though they'd all somewhat go, as Lilly somewhat blink and go, oh right, the cleaning supplies, and Tsunade would go, oh, I don't think, right, well, the would somewhat show the, well, all 1,000 clothes where the cleaning cabinets are, and they'd all somewhat do a different task. A lot of them would be somewhat clean out the residents. There'd be ones that would be trimming the grass that had massively overgrown because it hadn't been, well, obviously kept. Vines would be cut, trees would be trimmed, hedges would be kind of trimmed and that. And yeah. And, well, yeah, as that would be doing, well, so now they would go, right, but, well, as all your clones are doing that, well, come with me, of course, we'll have the somewhat master bedroom, but, well, why don't you choose, say, a bedroom, like a bedroom. Lily would somewhat just go, well, would go okay, and would somewhat follow Tsunade, and Tsunade would go, well, this is where I'll be sleeping, and there are, besides from this bedroom, there are 5 other bedrooms to my knowledge, but that all have their own bathroom, their own shower and bathroom walk-in wardrobe. Yeah, Lilly would go in and out of all the, well, not all of them, just more so that one, somewhat part, and would choose one that would have, of course, a walk-in wardrobe and their own, and her own, walk-in bath, her own personal bathroom and walk-in wardrobe. She'd thus choose that one, and Tsunade would then go, okay, though, because the stuff is obviously quite a bit old, we're kind of throw those stuff out, or everything in there, out. We can go to into the junk pile, and we somewhat sort through all the stuff later. For now, let's hope you clear that entire room out, and then, I'll take you shopping, and, you can somewhat say buy some, 2 new beds, one for me, one for you, and, just some stuff, and say, new outfit for you, huh? What's wrong with orange? Well, for one, you're now a gal, and so we're going to get you a Knoichi outfit, and I've got really nothing wrong with orange, but you may want to somewhat tone it down a bit, as well as you may be fine, say, in the, obviously in kind of hard doing it, but for a B or even A rank mission, is hitting you could be faced on missing Nin, be very obvious to them, and you could actually be the reason why. Say your team may fail the mission, may die because of how bright that is. Although if it is anything, my first mission outside the village was a rank mission. And A rank? The old man gave you an A rank? Well, not exactly. It was a bridge builder, and he was from the land of waves. So it's like, I've heard of that. TP, wait, that was your team? Hi, he somewhat lied to GG about it, and while they were somewhat struggling to pay, and they'd paid all that they could to, and they just barely managed to get a C rank. And so we went, and after finding out it was up to a B rank, we continued it, and then we ended up facing up against, first up against the Demon Brothers, I think Sensei called them, and then after that we ended up facing up against Sabazar. And then a somewhat mishunting had came in and actually saved them, though we thought she'd killed Zabazar, but no, she was actually working with Zabazar. And after a week of being there training in tree walking, you trained in tree walking, you've been again in for 2 months, and you only now have started learning tree walking. Hi. Well, with Hayax and Sasuke managed to learn the tree walking exercise. Sakura mastered it almost immediately. I would continue to explain the Land of Waves mission, because she'd heard about how a team of Genin had kind of I'd pretty much had rescued the land of waves, and said, and she'd remembered what the bridge was called, and she'd go, "Hey, Brad, do you know what the bridge is called?" No, no, he didn't hear the name of it. Well, I guess I could ask them to rename it, but at the time they called it the Great Naruto Bridge, after you, their saviour, who had brought them back their hope. I thought it somewhat blush a bit. And would go, you're joking, right? I'm not. I was actually quite surprised when I'd heard of that. Yeah. So yeah, but had quite an eventful first mission. Well, your first mission outside of the village, though. I'm somewhat curious, though. If you were if the old man called you kind of number one ninja, what was your first mission? Well, I guess it was somewhat an unofficial first mission, but I'd failed getting exam for the third time this year, and the third time in a row, and because of these stupid clone jutsu, I just can't do it. So and Mizuki sensei, he'd come to me and told me that if I went into the Hokage's office and stole the Forbidden Scroll and learnt a jutsu from there, and showed that I could perform said jutsu, he would promote me to Genin and would pass me. And after that, I'd done that, and Iruka had somewhat told me that Mizuki was actually lying and had tricked me into stealing it. And though I ended up learning, as you can see, the Shadow Clone and Multi Shadow Clone jutsu from said scroll within an hour. I only had an hour, and I'd somewhat managed to learn those two jutsu. They were somewhat flawed at that. So you somewhat think, to acknowledge it should take a good 3-4 days to a week for someone to learn the Shaokan Jutsu, and 2 weeks to a month to learn the multi Shaokan Jutsu. As the Shaokan Jutsu, you can make from 1 to 10 clones. The multi Shaokan Jutsu, you can make any amount, as much as your chakra is out, as much as you have chakra. Because it's just dividing. The more clones you have, the more it divides. So if you make 1 clone, your reserves are divided in half. Make 3, divided it. If you make 2, then your reserves are split 3 ways. You and 2 clones. Make 3 clones, and your reserves are split 4, and so on and so forth. So if you make 100 clones, your chakra is split. Is divided among 101 people. You and 100 clones. So just keep that in mind. And anyway, and I'd managed to after somewhat music had tell me that I was the I had the 9 tails in me. I'd somewhat froze, and Iruka-sensei jumped in to save me, and I'd pushed me to the side and they'd saved me. And then somewhat ran a bit though. Iruka then somewhat said that he believed in me, and I somewhat decided that enough was enough, and I stopped running, turned around and made 1,000 clones and beat Music-key to a pulp. And when me and Iruka had gotten back to Gigi's office, Gigi had told me that he would give me a B rank mission pay for from pretty much some revealing and defeating all by myself a spy. So I can go, so I could just go, damn that, you really are unpredictable. Lilly would somewhat just chuckle a bit, and go, well then, come on, let's go shopping then. And so, that's what they would end up doing for the somewhat rest of the day. Well, somewhat, they would spend a good 2-3 hours shopping for. Well, yeah, they'd spend half an hour, an hour. They'd bought pretty much a new bed, both of them pretty much getting queen size double beds. Yeah. Somewhat just make it obviously a lot newer. And though Tsunade spent most of the clans, well, not most of the clan money, the clan had a ton of money, but it spent at least the majority of money that she'd spend today pretty much on clothes, not just, she spent a couple of, obviously, a bit on herself to get some new clothes for herself, but the most of the money went to Lilly and getting her some new outfits and a new Kanochi uniform. And Lilly would ask how long would it take for her to grow a chest, to grow breasts, and Tsunade would somewhat think and go, well, it'd possibly take you a year and a half, 2 years. I'd think around a year and a half. Lilly. And she'd somewhat just nod, and this is where I'm gonna end it here, guys. So if you have enjoyed this part, tell me in the comments down below. And tell me if you want part 3, which part 3 will be going into, say, training, what they will be training in. Well, what Tsunade to train her in, and yeah. And until then, as I said, hope you guys have enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments down below if you want part 3 to know what they would train in. That Tsunade would teach her, or Tsunade teach her how to be a medic in, or say some elements. What elements will she have? Will she have the same wind affinity that she does in canon, or will it be something else entirely? Will she have 1, 2, 3, 4, or even all 5 basic chakra natures? Who knows? You'll have to wait, and you'd have to somewhat wait to find out if you want part 3. And yeah. What else? Well, hope you guys stay safe. Have a good day or night, depending on wherever you are and whatever the time is, and good. Bye!